to 13 that come to that camp. And
wow.
then we also have Camp Forget Me Not, which is based out of Murfreesboro, our Murfreesboro office. And both of those camps are going to be in June. So
wow, and Forget Me Not, that, so, and what ages? Is it all ages that, like 6?
6 up to 13.
To 13 they can go or take part
camps.
of these camps. And
Yes.
then there, I guess they learn how to still handle grief. You're still working with them. You got counselors.
Yes.
They're working them with their grief. But also it sounds like you offering them some wonderful support.
Yes.
It's like, we're here for you. We haven't left you. If somebody else, and we love you, and we're going to help you understand maybe why that happened. And not to be afraid, because I know that, oh my goodness, back in the medieval times, sometimes parents, and it was just because they didn't have the tools then that we have now, may tell children, oh, they just went to sleep, and then the child will be afraid to go to sleep.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. And if you don't define, for example, that an illness is, say somebody died from cancer, and that cancer is different from a flu or a common cold,
Yeah.
that needs to be explained to children as well.
So y'all do get that understanding with
Yes.
those children that, hey, you know, just because you sneeze, you're not going to die.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Okay. And you said, John, that the counseling center is open to everybody, even if they're not a part of a live hospice. So you kind of like have an open door policy
Absolutely.
for anybody that's grieving.
Yes, yes, anyone can come. You know, that's the message we always like to get out. They can come no matter, well, I'll say that, of course, after a few years, you know, most of the time, if they have gotten counseling, they're probably well on their way to healing from their loss. But if people, even if it's been a long time after their loved one has died, and they're still feeling like they have not healed from that, we don't use the term gotten over it, because we don't view it like that. We don't view it as if you had a cold or a flu. You know, we tend to use more the term of healing. If you're still struggling with that a year or 2 years after this person has died, and you don't seem to be able to adjust, we still encourage people to call, because there's something there that is unresolved and it needs to be resolved. So regardless of how that loved one dies, we encourage people to call, even if they come in just for a few sessions. But a lot of times, you know, people do feel like that they're going crazy after someone has died that they love.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, and I may even hazard to bring this example in, even though now it has not been conclusive. They have not said that Nicole, no, what was the actress, Anna Nicole, that this is what happened. But I know that when her son died in the hospital where she had just given birth to his new baby sister, that some of, and these wasn't tabloids, this was one of the papers I was reading that was saying that she took it very hard. She was grieving.
Absolutely.
Yes, there's no doubt.
And I just, this is my opinion, nobody else's, but I just really felt that this woman grieved herself to death, and nobody recognized it or took up on, and plus she had some other things going on.
Right.
Which, when you have other layers of stuff going on top of a major grief, then you got really something that you're dealing with. And do you perhaps help sometimes the families, I guess, see that somebody may be grieving maybe beyond what, like you said, some may seem like it's taking them much longer to get over, even though you're not putting a time frame on it. We cannot put a time frame on it, but then we know there, at least I think there are different levels of grief, where the ultimate level is that you may just say, hey, I want to go with you.
Sure.
And you'll stop eating, not so much as shooting yourself in it, but you may stop eating, you may stop guilt going out, or you may start a severe bad habit such as too many drugs and alcohol.
Sure, it's a way of medicating, self-medicating oneself. It's unusual in that a lot of people, of course, imagine that right after the funeral or whatever, they've had a memorial service or whatever, that they expect, much like we were raised, our culture is not very good at dying. Our culture is not very good at death. We're getting better, but we have a ways to go. So the expectations of people are all over the map. People don't know what to expect from themselves if it is their first significant loss. And I mean significant. I mean, they could have lost someone that they perhaps weren't close to, and they just didn't feel a lot from that loss. But when they have that first significant loss of someone who was very close to them, the feelings that they encounter can be overwhelming. Now, they may feel that at the time of the loss, and then suddenly they feel okay. Maybe they're not really okay, but they're feeling okay. We'll see, we'll have a lot of people call anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks or beyond. They'll call and say, I'm going crazy. I'm not getting better. I'm getting worse. Of course, that's what we anticipate, that the feelings, the real intense feelings, typically don't arrive. There's this gradual thawing out. There's a gradual sense of getting over the shock, getting through the shock. Shock begins to wear off, and I suddenly begin to feel more and more. I'm being able to comprehend the depth and the breadth of what this loss is about, and they begin to feel much, much worse. And so it gets very scary for them. But in reality, that is normal. That is very normal. So they're not perhaps sleeping well. Perhaps their appetite is one way or the other. They've stopped eating, or they're eating everything in sight. Same thing with sleep.
Extreme. So they get in extreme mode.
They might not sleep well, or they may sleep all the time.